Hi, I'm Patricia from the crochet blog Pops to Milk. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this super squishy giant donut pillow. The full written instructions are on my website, popstomilk.com. You can also purchase the PDF pattern in my Etsy shop. Now let's get started. To make this crochet donut pillow, I'll be using Bernat Blanket in color Almond. This is a super bulky weight category 6 yarn. I'll also be using a size 8mm crochet hook. For the donut icing, I'll be using Bernat Baby Blanket, which you can probably also get in the regular Bernat Blanket style. This color is called Baby Pink. Alright, to get started, I'm going to begin by making the center donut hole. And to do this, I'll start with a chain of 24, which I will then slip stitch to form a ring. I have my 24 chains, and now, without twisting the chains, I'll make a slip stitch into the first chain. So now I can start working my single crochet stitches, and to do this I'm going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and then I will single crochet into the same space as the slip stitch and into each chain around. Again, being careful not to twist the chain as I work. I'm at the end of the first round. I'm not going to join or turn. I'm going to continue working in continuous spiral rounds. So now we begin round 2. And in round 2, I'm going to work even. And this just means I'll be making single crochet stitches without increasing or decreasing. I'll finish that and meet you back here at the end of round 2. Okay, I have my round 2 complete, and now the increase rounds will begin. But first I'm going to place my stitch marker so I can keep track of my rounds. For rounds 3 to 9, it's all increases with a total of 66 stitches at the end of round 9. So in round 3, it will be an increase in the first stitch, followed by 1 single crochet stitch in the next 3 stitches, repeated 6 times around, for a total of 30 stitches at the end of round 3. So I'm going to make my first increase in the first stitch, then single crochet in the next 3 stitches and repeat that around. I've finished round 3 and now I'm going on to round 4. In round 4, I'll be making an increase followed by a single crochet in the next 4 stitches with a total of 36 stitches at the end of the round. Okay, round 4 is done, and now I'm just going to continue increasing for the next few rounds, rounds 5 to 9, and I will meet you back here at the end of round 9. Okay, I have finished up to round 9, and I have a total of 66 stitches around, and here's what the donut is looking like so far. Now the next 2 rounds, rounds 10 and 11, are work even rounds. So I'll just single crochet without increasing or decreasing, and see you back here at the end of round 11. I have just finished round 11, and in the next few rounds I'll be decreasing so that this donut can start taking shape. To do this, I'll single crochet 2 stitches together, followed by a single crochet in the next 9 stitches, and repeat that around 6 times for a total of 60 stitches at the end of the round. And I'll continue to decrease in the next few rounds from rounds 12 to 18. So I'm going to work on that and meet you back here at the end of round 18. Okay, I've just finished all the decrease rounds, and for the final round of this donut, I'm going to single crochet around without increases or decreases. I finished the last round and have cut the yarn, leaving a long tail so I can sew the donut together. To sew the seams together, I'm going to align the first and last rounds together, and I'm going to use a whip stitch to sew through both stitch layers. I'm not going to sew all the way around because I still need to add the stuffing. Here's the donut so far, and I've left enough space so I can start stuffing. But before I do this, I like to pull the stuffing apart a little bit so it's easier to work with. And when I'm stuffing projects, I try not to overstuff because I don't want the stuffing to show through the stitches, but I also don't want to understuff and have a flat pillow. So don't overstuff, but don't be too stingy with the stuffing. Alright, I think this donut is properly stuffed. It's squishy but not too firm, and I'm just making sure the shape is smooth and round before I continue sewing the opening. I'm now just weaving in the ends and securing the yarn tail before I cut the yarn, and if stuffing comes out, I just tuck it back in. And we have our donut base ready to be iced. I'm going to start working on the icing for the donut pillow, and I'm going with a pink icing with sprinkles. I'm starting with a chain of 24, and I'm going to leave a long tail at the start and at the end so I can sew the icing in the center hole and in the outer edge. Like the donut base, the icing starts with a ring, followed by increases from rounds 1 to 5 until there are 54 stitches in total. I have my 24 chains, and same as the donut base, I'm going to be joining them with a slip stitch, and I'll make my first stitch in the same space as the slip stitch, and again the starting chain does not count as a stitch. In this first round, I'll start the first round of increases. So it will be increases in the first stitch, followed by a single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and I'll repeat that 6 times for a total of 30 stitches at the end of the round. I'll work on rounds 1 to 5 and meet you back here at the end of round 5. Okay, here's the icing at the end of round 5, and I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a long tail so I can sew it onto the donut base. And here I'm just trying to figure out how much of a tail I'll need. I'm going to start sewing from the donut hole section of the icing so that it's in place and it doesn't shift around when I'm sewing the outer edge. But how could I forget the sprinkles? Before I sew the icing completely, I'm going to need to stitch the sprinkles on first. It just makes it a lot easier to do. But since I've already started stitching the center hole, I will finish that and then I'll get started on the sprinkles. For the sprinkles, I'm using Bernat Blanket yarn in red, yellow, green, blue, and white. You can use any colors you like, or you can use buttons and beads. If you don't have bulky yarn, you can use worsted weight yarn to make the sprinkles. So I'll show you how to do that. You just need to chain 5, single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each chain across, and then cut the yarn, leaving a tail so you can sew that onto the icing. I wanted to show that really quickly in case you didn't have multiple colors and bulky yarn. Now I'm going to start stitching on my icing, and there's no wrong or right way of doing this. I'm using double strands of yarn to make the sprinkle stitches pop out more. And after I'm done with each color, I like to tie the yarn with a few knots and leave the tail hidden under the icing. And with all the stitches added, I'm going to continue sewing the rest of the icing to the donut base. Okay, the icing has been attached, and I'm just going to weave in the ends a few times before I cut the yarn. And here we have our finished donut pillow. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and have found it helpful. If you make this donut, I would love to see your creation. You can follow me on Instagram, pops2milk_crochet, and use the hashtag pops2milk. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.